feedback is probably the most important skill that we need to develop as a leader in order to be able to hold people to high standards. And we have to recognize that a lot of times when leaders give feedback, we reach for vague, subjective language. Our brains automatically do this, instead of using more objective, behavior-based language that is much clearer and doesn't trigger defensiveness. Hello, Boss Heroes, and welcome back to Boss Better Now, the show that aspires to be food for the boss's soul. We're doing something a little bit different this summer. A few weeks ago, I held a free webinar for subscribers to my BossBetter email newsletter on a challenge that many leaders struggle to navigate. How do you hold people to high standards of performance in the workplace while also being the kind of compassionate, supportive leader that people love? This balancing act is something that I refer to as the accountability tightrope. And this webinar that I did was a 1-hour deep dive into the habits, mindset, and best practices for holding people to high standards while deepening and not damaging the relationships that make great teams possible. I've decided to share that webinar with you, our devoted listeners, in its entirety across 4 parts this summer. So as the summer unfolds, enjoy learning how to navigate the accountability tightrope. Oh, and if you want to be sure that you don't miss future special events and webinars like this one, make sure you subscribe to my BossBetter email newsletter. It's free and I'll never sell your information or spam your inbox. You can get it by just heading over to bossbetternow.com and signing up there. And now, here's part 1 of the accountability tightrope. Have you ever had a leader, known a leader, or worked for a boss that you might describe as too soft? Think about what that person did or did not do. And think about why this kind of leadership style might be ineffective. When I ask leaders this question in live sessions, you can probably guess the answers I hear back. They say that this kind of leadership style is someone who doesn't show up with any accountability for other people. Or this is a leader who sometimes avoids uncomfortable conversations, and so some employees coast and get away with it. Or maybe this style means that the leader doesn't fully trust people, and so they micromanage them to death. And we hear members of these teams with a leadership style from someone who is too soft, that those team members are frustrated. And we also hear sometimes that the leader is frustrated too. I'm being so nice, I'm being so caring, I'm extending all this compassion and flexibility, but people still aren't performing and they aren't fixing their mistakes. This is a leadership style that is referred to as a protector mindset. A protector mindset is a leadership approach that prioritizes comfort or underestimates capability. And the result is you're providing a high level of support for people, but not sufficient standards to get them to the highest level of performance. Some common behaviors that we see associated with this leadership style are sometimes the leader is avoiding assigning meaningful work because they think, oh, this person isn't capable enough yet, or they don't have enough skill or experience to own this. And so their approach is to prevent failure or overwhelm. Sometimes a leader embracing a protector mindset or operating from this perspective, from this leadership style, is avoiding hard conversations to prevent discomfort. Now, sometimes it might be their own discomfort because they just haven't learned how to give feedback, or they are uncomfortable at the idea of making somebody else uncomfortable. And so they avoid discomfort altogether. Sometimes, if you're operating from a protector mindset, you're lowering expectations when someone struggles. Or you're rescuing people instead of coaching them through the challenge. Let me take this back. Or let me just give you all the steps in order. I'll write them down. Now you go do that. That is a protector mindset. Protector mindset is also something when we see a leader who is offering reassurance without clear expectations or feedback. If you've ever had that boss who tells you you're doing a great job, and then all of a sudden you get a problematic performance review. Or you feel like you're saying to people all the time, I'm giving them lots of encouragement, but you're also feeling like I'm not maybe being as forthcoming with them as I should be about the concerns that I have. And also, this protector mindset, sometimes we see the leader equating caring with being lenient. That the way that I show I care about my people is moving the goalposts on those expectations or creating a whole lot of flexibility about when things are due or how they should be done or what the schedule is. This is high support without accountability, and it tends to leave everybody frustrated. We have to remember sometimes that our job as leaders is not to protect the ego or the self-esteem of the people on our team. Our job is to create the conditions at work for people to thrive. And accountability is a key ingredient in that. And if we're operating from a protector mindset, there's some accountability that's missing. In the first job that I ever had, the first job as a leader that I ever had, I recognize now that I was very much operating from a place of protector mindset. I was very nervous about giving people feedback. When I did give them feedback, I really wanted them to agree with me. So I was overly delicate. I was sort of pussyfooting around and walking on eggshells. And I'm aware now that what I really wanted was to be liked. And so at the end of our feedback conversations, if I challenged them to try to think differently about something or show up in a different way, by the end of that conversation, I was going, are we good? Is everything okay? Are we in a good place? I sort of cringe now when I think about that. I recognize that I wanted everything to fit in this kind of tidy emotional box that I could put on the shelf and that there would never be any conflict or friction. And it just didn't work. If you drift toward protector mindset and you're already showing up with high support, how do you raise standards? That's what our list is here. One of the most common patterns that we see among folks who drift toward protector mindset is they struggle with feedback, or they struggle with the right language or the right tone around feedback, and they tend to be nervous about saying things to someone that would upset them, or I've had leaders say to me, what if they quit, right? And so we sometimes have to remind ourselves that most people aren't fragile, and if we're clear about what the standards or expectations are, and those are rooted in culture and values, then we can articulate those to people. We also want to think about how we can assign meaningful, consequential work and limit busy or elementary tasks. We also want to think about, in terms of drifting away from protector mindset and toward that mentor mindset middle, how to share standards and expectations while also communicating an explicit belief in their ability to meet them. We also have to be honest about what is and is not working. And it's that honesty piece that sometimes we have to bring into those feedback conversations. You heard me use language a few minutes ago. I care enough about you to tell you the truth. And I know that if I was working and operating in my role and my boss felt like I wasn't quite hitting the mark on some things, I would want him to tell me. And so I'm going to offer you the same courtesy. We have to be honest about what is and is not working. We also have to validate feelings and experiences, but without lowering expectations. We have to be able to say to people, I know this is hard. I know that it's difficult. I know that you're still learning how to do it. And I fully expect that as you get more time and more experience under your belt, that these things will come easier to you. We also have to replace rescuing or hoarding work with coaching and allowing productive struggle. Now, this can be hard because sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes as leaders, we have to reach for some leadership courage and step into the discomfort of accountability. And sometimes it means we have to resist letting people off the hook. It's okay to say to somebody sometimes, hey, you've got a lot on your plate, so let's set that aside, or why don't I take that piece back from you for right now? In a standalone, isolated experience, that's an act of compassion. But if you're doing that consistently, or you feel like that conversation is happening a lot with the same person, then that might be some of the rescuing that we're talking about here. The simplest fix to drift away from protector mindset and toward mentor mindset is to articulate the standard and then deliver the support that you're really good at. There was a really interesting news story that went viral this week about an elementary school teacher who, just by changing some language that they were using in the classroom, got a dramatic transformation in the behavior of his kids. And if some of you are on TikTok or Instagram, you may have seen this already. This gentleman had been reading about the psychology of adolescent development, things like that, and he had an idea. He stopped addressing the student and he instead started naming the standard. All he did when he needed to correct a student's behavior in the classroom, instead of saying, you need to, he instead said, the expectation is. So if you had a restless kid who kept getting out of his seat, the teacher stopped saying, "Billy, you need to stay in your seat," and instead started saying, "Billy, the expectation is that you stay in your seat." And he said the transformation was immediate. And so now this has started sort of taking hold among teachers and classrooms across the country. And it was a story that went viral just this last week. And that communication of the standard helps people feel like, hey, I'm not being targeted. This is the expectation. At Boss Hero School, we teach and practice a simple feedback methodology called the feedback stack, because feedback is probably the most important skill that we need to develop as a leader in order to be able to hold people to high standards. And we have to recognize that a lot of times when leaders give feedback, we reach for vague, subjective language. Our brains automatically do this, instead of using more objective, behavior-based language that is much clearer and doesn't trigger defensiveness. So if this is you, if you drift toward protector mindset and you struggle with those kinds of conversations, then one thing you may want to think about is, how do I get better at feedback? And that may be an area where you want to do some skill development. So look for some additional training, or there are great books out there like Crucial Conversations or Radical Candor by Kim Scott. These are all great resources to think about how you can help yourself get better at feedback. Whatever you choose, just trying to level up in the feedback department might dramatically transform your leadership practice and move you closer to that mentor mindset approach. Okay, Boss Heroes, that's part 1 of the Accountability Tightrope. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because part 2 is on its way in just a few days. By the way, if you'd like to bring programming like this to the leaders in your organization, either as a meeting keynote or a leadership development workshop, let me know by visiting my website at joemull.com and filling out the contact form. We'll get back to you right away to explore various ways that we could do something like this for you. Thanks for listening, and remember, commitment comes from better bosses. See you next time.
If you like these episodes, then make sure you subscribe to my BossBetter email newsletter. Once a month, I'm going to send you an email packed full of insight, advice, articles, and more on activating employee commitment in today's ever-changing workplace. This is also where you'll find out about opportunities for programming, for Boss Hero School, and more. Just go to bossbetternow.com to subscribe.